The third thing is the rating criteria. I know you guys have really worked on all this, and you're still in the process. The rating criteria need further defining, and particularly your categories of A through C. If you could give an example of each, it would be very helpful to propose those proposing something. And then finally, the timeline for review. What I'm hearing, and please give me feedback, is that you're not going to jump in and start calling for proposals from the college in the fall, that there will be time for data review. Is that correct or incorrect?
Is this working? Okay. We're working on the unit plans right now. That was one of the recommendations that came out of the budget committee with Rick Greenspan. And we will get the data in the fall semester, but we wanted to start on that now and then review that data in the fall, because we won't have the data for the spring semester for us to do it now. So we are capturing that data right now, but it won't be available until the fall when the faculty get back.
Okay,
and
Deborah's made 4 points. Does anybody want to speak to any of the other points? Or?
No, I just had a question for Jeanette. At each college, will the researchers be involved?
Absolutely, Deborah. You know, I try to bring you in probably more than you even want to sometimes, but yes, absolutely.
Well, I don't mean here, but just assurance that across the colleges.
Absolutely. We talked about that today at DWMC, saying when we do the unit plans, as Dr. Jackson said, to make sure that all of the data is available, and the researchers should be helping with that at each campus. So we're going to ensure that come the fall.
Okay, thank you very much.
Deborah, I just wanted to speak to one thing that you talked about, which was the enrollment indicators and also the rating criteria. As you said, we're building this as we're going through the process right now, and it came up at DWMC. And one of the recommendations from DWMC was we want to move away from a rating scale. When you talk about grow, maintain, and watch, or you talk about an A or B or C, it doesn't give the connotation that we're looking at program improvement. It looks like we're looking at trying to get rid of a program. And that is not the intent. The intent is absolutely for student success and program improvement. So the recommendation that came to DWMC that we're going to take back to the CWG on Wednesday is that we do look at eliminating that whole ranking process, but that we look at common indicators, as you said, that we look across the district at.
That would be great. Thank you very much.
Diana.
Diana?
I have a concern, and I'll also indicate it here on the forum on the suggestions. On the Chancellor's work group, I noticed that there are 2 classified employee representatives. I'm guessing one is classified Senate and one is for a union. There are 2 unions, there's Local 39 and there's Local 1021. So I just have a concern that I think we should increase that. And I understand that you don't want to have a large committee, but as a president of our chapter, I go to a lot of meetings, and it's real critical that I have someone else attend as an alternate or whatever, so there's that continuity and we could communicate back and forth what's happening. In case I can't go to a meeting because there's a conflict, I can have someone else go with the same union, and that keeps that communication line going. And I also, let's see, I noticed there was
Diana,
also...
maybe one of the members would like to respond to that first.
Are you saying having a proxy to go to all the meetings, or?
Well, I noticed it said union. First it didn't indicate. There's 2 classified unions, right?
Let me answer that. I think, actually, as we talked about, this is really our draft, and we're putting out there for everyone's comments and thoughts. Certainly it says 3 classified. We may find that we have a classified Senate rep and the 2 unions. I mean, with 3 total. So that really could be what would be correct, that you could have 1 from each union and a classified. That could be the solution.
Okay, I'll indicate it also here on the suggestion.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And I just want to say one thing, Diana.
Come on up,
The
Greg.
CWG was only a task force. It is not a standing committee. It is going away now that we have done our duty and come up with this document. So if you're talking about the Planning and Budget Council, be sure to indicate that so that
Yes.
so that we get clarity.
Excellent. Okay, Greg?
Yes, good afternoon. Greg Morrow. I'm at the College of Alameda Transfer Center. I'm just kind of wondering, as an employee of College of Alameda, where in the process can, say, ideas for new programs, new educational course offerings be vetted? And here's the thing is, recommendations before in the past have either gone through the division offices and maybe up to the other offices of instruction. But if one is suggesting a new program that's really innovative, you know, it's not offered or done anywhere else. It's kind of premature, in my opinion, that new ideas are not given a sufficient amount of time to grow and develop. For example, if we use the sports team, there's the National Football League. Well, back in the 60s, someone decided to have, well, hey, maybe we can have a rival team called the American Football League, the AFL. Now, if the AFL was a stepchild or was in its infancy and was kind of growing, it would behoove that the AFL would have been, you know, the owners and the players would say, well, I guess we didn't get enough fan support or TV coverage and advertising and revenues. Let's kill it after the first year. I mean, if new innovative ideas have to grow by steps, and you know, you take baby steps, and then you stand up, and then you walk, and then you run. So I think I've heard in the past where proposals have been given through the colleges, whichever colleges, by faculty, and I've, you know, kind of had some input in that. But to allow programs to go and not kill it the first go around just because you have 15 students in a classroom when you're saying you have to have a minimum of 25.
Actually, Greg, I think you've given a perfect example of why the Chancellor's Working Group has proposed a new model, because it actually, you may want to speak to this, but it actually proposes decision making, because in the past, sure, people have ideas, and sometimes there's nowhere for those ideas to go, or nobody knows where they ought to go. So, but Dr. Jackson or
Well, I just want to speak
Peralta?
to that. Under the District Education Committee,
Yes.
one of the things is, because we're going to be looking at it as a district rather than as just individual colleges, and if you look at the chart, there's no number on it, but it's Appendix 3 of PBIM. It shows you where there's an opportunity to vet various programs, and again, that committee would be looking at everything so that there's complement rather than competition.
And for the college, Greg, it would start at remember I said we have the accreditation committee, and then we came up with this new body, and I brought it to the accreditation committee, and they said, Jeanette, why don't we become the College Educational Master Planning Committee, rather than duplicating another committee, because then we would have continuity in the off years when we don't have accreditation, which we hope, knock on wood, that will happen this year.
No, Jeanette, we have accreditation every day. It's just whether or not we have to report on it.
And one of the things, and Tom might want to talk about this, is we had discussed when we had the budget committee, before the budget crisis and gloom and doom, that if a proposal came from the College Educational Master Planning Committee as a new idea, that there would be money that we would put aside, and we would look at that as like incubator programs that would grow. So I don't know, Tony, you want to talk about that?